Johnny's butt.
Nowadays, when I listen to you, I even panic.
Why?
Maybe, hey,
Why do you panic?
the way you, Papa, you know, Papa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbanallahu wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yet, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Wednesday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. You know, the president and I were born on a Wednesday, and it's always a delight to come to you every single morning. Johnny's Bite. Now, the government intends to bring back road tolls, and I want to do a quick recall of the issues. Let's start from Parliament, where the Honorable Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, announced that subsequent to approval by Parliament, because you know that in Ghana, you cannot impose taxes or scrap them if Parliament has not approved. That is law. The Minister for Roads is a lawyer. He knows. The President is a lawyer. He knows. There are too many lawyers in the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and they know this for a fact. The Finance Minister says, after the budget has been approved, we will scrap road tolls. Listen to him.
Our roads need fixing and building. Our roads are being fixed. It's true that more roads have been fixed and are being fixed over the last 5 years than any relative period in the entire history of our nation. We even want to do lots more, and this budget will cater for them. That is why for decades, government after government imposed and maintained tolls on some public roads to raise funds for road construction and maintenance. This is the situation in many countries. However, over the years, the tolling points have become unhealthy market centers, led to heavy traffic on our roads, lengthened travel time from one place to the other, and impacted negatively on productivity. The congestion generated at the tolling points, besides creating these inconveniences, also leads to pollution in and around the vicinity. To address these challenges, government has abolished all tolls on public roads and bridges. This takes effect immediately. The budget is approved on appropriation. The toll collection personnel will be reassigned. The expected impact on productivity and reduce environmental pollution will more than offset the revenue foregone by removing the tolls. Tolls, Mr. Speaker, would be abolished on all public roads. Mr. Speaker.
That was the Finance Minister, the Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, in Parliament. This was in November of 2021. Now, mind you, road tolls have been considered a revenue line for the year 2021. So, when the minister suddenly, and corroborated by the Honorable Serge Mensah, who is the majority leader, told us that people were fighting at the 38 tolling points, but couldn't tell us exactly where people were fighting. I raised the suspicion. I raised the alarm. Put the letter up for me. And I'll show you some anomalies in the letter. Something that's strange. Because this is a letter written on the 17th of November 2021. If you look at the ink and spread it out for me. Look at the ink used in writing the date, 17 November. Look at it. And then drill down and look at the ink used to sign by the minister. 17, no, bring it down so people can see what I'm talking about. 17 November. That's it. Take it up so we can see the signature. Different ink. Was the minister in town when this happened? Because the government, the intention, the information I have is that the government wanting to introduce e-levy cancelled road tolls so that we all say, oh yeah, road tolls have been cancelled. And then while we jubilate, they bring in the e-levy. But that didn't work. And in that letter it says, following the presentation of the budget by Honorable Finance Minister on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic on Wednesday, November 17, 2021. Mind you, the budget had not been approved. The Ministry of Roads and Highways hereby directs the cessation of the collection of road and bridge tolls at all locations nationwide. The directive takes effect from 12 a.m. on Thursday, November 18. The Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service will be on hand to provide security at the toll locations from the effective date. Motorists are kindly advised to approach the locations with caution, yada, yada, yada. Now, we were told that people were fighting. If you had what it takes to ask MTTD officers to go to the place to provide security, you are suggesting to me that we did not have police enough for people who were fighting to have been arrested because it's a crime and prosecuted by this time. Ajana 1, Ajana 2. Now we were told that when the tolls are abolished, we will bring in e-levy. So now that the government wants to bring back the tolls, and we are even hearing 5 cities and all, that we pay the cheapest in the world and all that conversation, will the government scrap e-levy? Because we're told that e-levy will solve all our problems. Will the government have the balls to scrap e-levy? In that statement made by Mr. Kedofriata, corroborated by the roads minister in parliament under oath, they said that they were going to reassign the persons living with disability at all the 38 tolling points so that they will have bread to feed their families. They are still owed today. They have not been reassigned. And their situation is getting worse. In a country like this, where some of us applauded the government for leaving road tolls for persons living with disability, we are now back to the point where even persons living with disability have their bread now being taken away from them. Play the next video.
Of tolls, bridge and road tolls, as contained in the ministry's press release dated 17 November 2021. Mr. Speaker, there are in total 38 toll stations across the country. There has been no loss of revenue to the Ministry of Roads and Highways since the cessation of the correction of road tolls. Mr. Speaker, after the presentation of the 2022 budget statement and economic policy of government by the Minister of Finance on 17 November 2020, most road users refused to pay road tolls at all the locations throughout the country. During that period, there was confusion between road users and the correctors. Mr. Speaker, in order to save lives and property at the toll location, a directive was issued for the suspension of the correction of the tolls. Mr. Speaker, with the approval of the 2022 budget, effectively, road tolls have been zero rated and there will be no revenue in 2022.
And again, I ask the question, Mr. Minister, where are the people who were fighting at the 38 tolling points in this country? That's what you said. The police should be interested in this. You said the people were fighting. I thought that you said you were going to convert the tolling points into public toilets and urinals. You told us that we're going to convert them into public toilets and urinals. You have not apologized. That decision to abolish road tolls was a bad and ill-thought decision. And you must apologize for it. The government doesn't see the need to apologize for anything because the government simply doesn't respect all of us. And to even suggest that as soon as people heard what was said in Parliament by Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, by the budget statement, they quickly started fighting at the tolling points and they were not paying road tolls. An insult to Ghanaians to suggest that Ghanaians do not know that the finance minister said, the finance minister said that the cancellation of the road tolls will only take effect after the budget has been approved. When the people knew that the budget was read on the 17th, you wrote a letter hastily to cancel it on the 17th, expecting public jubilation. And then you come back to insult the people to say they were fighting, suggesting that they didn't understand. Is this the first time we're reading a budget in this country? Budgets have been read since Nkrumah's time. In fact, pre-Nkrumah's time. So how is it I got to your 10? And then suddenly, we heap insults on the Ghanaians and we are coming back unapologetic about it. We are still waiting for you to convert the tolling points into washrooms. That's what you said. We are still waiting for you to show us the people who were fighting. We are still waiting for you to tell the police, give them evidence as to who was fighting. And you better amend that comment that we lost no money. Even if we were getting 2 CDs every single day from 17 November up to the time when we want to start reintroducing it, until the time that the budget was approved, somebody should be held for causing financial loss to the state. But as a country, I'm sure we won't. You told us that if we accept e-levy, road tolls will be a thing of the past. Now you have e-levy and you are bringing back road tolls. You are piling more pressure on the people. You are piling pressure on the people. When you finish, come and tell us that we are burden sharing. Look at the Temamoto way that you're going to reintroduce the road tolls. The Temamoto way is in a deplorable state, sorry state. But in Ghana, you will get people to defend you even when they know you are wrong. And that is why they do all these things to us. I have heard CSOs, and that's what I'm wrapping up with. And others talk about the fact that, oh, we are paying low and that we should pay high. The first thing you should have said was that let us hold them accountable. Let them apologize to us. And let whoever, through whoever's machination and whoever's actions, we may have lost money, let that person be held for causing financial loss to the state. Let that person be held for causing financial loss to the state. And let that person show us where the 38 tolling points, where people were fighting. Ake onukpamale. Say an elder doesn't tell lies. But when we hear some of the things, we know exactly what they are. And let me say a big thank you to Savida Bonre Kente. They're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter as well. Savida Bonre Kente. They have made me look very regal this morning. This has been Johnny's Bite. Kina Isoba will be on the show. I told you yesterday I'm Nanama Back Brown. Kina Isoba will be on the show this morning. You can't miss it. 3FM 92.7. Good morning.